Talkin' Country. You're listening to Talkin' Country with Paul Taylor.
Hi, welcome to my channel, Talking Country, where we'll be chatting to the stars of country music from around the world, whether it's in Nashville, Australia, UK, Ireland. You'll get it here first. If you like us, subscribe and give us the big thumbs up. Hopefully you enjoy it. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show this week. And I am absolutely bowled over by my guest this evening, and it's none other than Jimmy Mattingly, one of the world famous fiddle players and also part of the Garth Brooks band. How you doing, Jimmy?
Oh, good. How you doing, Paul?
I'm good. I know you're really busy. We just spoke a little bit off air. You're getting ready now for the show tomorrow at Kansas City with 75,000 fans.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're excited about doing that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how do you cope with that? I mean, I've got so many questions to ask and I'm trying to condense them all. But I mean, you step out on the stadium and you must get a buzz like no other.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, it's I watch a lot of live concerts and my daughter's a huge Queen fan. And so we're watching Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's like, I got chills watching the opening scene of that, just, because I knew what it felt like, it's like once you get that feeling, it's, there's nothing like it. And you get to do what you love doing. And I mean, that's it really. That's the payoff. Is that you're doing what you've always wanted to do and you love it. It's your dream. It's, it's a dream come true.
And again, you're mixing that up with dive bars as well. You're still doing the dive bars connected with this?
We've done a few. Yeah. We did one a couple of weeks ago in Salt Lake City, and that's too, because that's just like taking it way back to
I saw it on YouTube.
Taking it back to the point where you were dreaming about doing, the stadiums, when you were playing bars when you were growing up, it's like, that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to. I
mean, those tickets must be worth their weight in gold. I mean, to get up close and personal with you guys. I mean, wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Anytime you can get where you can look eye to eye into the fans' eyes and see what they like, and it's just like it's a big party. That's the way any show is. Any show's it's a big party, and we're all there. Yeah. And you're just the entertainment for the party. I mean, that's
it must be great for the bars because they can dine out on that for like decades. Yeah,
I think so. I mean, I'm sure and they're always super sweet and over the top, accommodating to us, and it's fun and it's nice. Yeah.
No, that's good. And again, with the stadiums, I mean, how long does it take you to come down from that?
Well, not very long, because by the time you're done with it, time with the night, you're pretty spent. But as soon as you recover, you're ready for it. I mean, when we were doing our arena tour 5 years ago or so, we were doing 2 shows a night, and they were 2.5 hours long each show.
Yeah.
And we were doing sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row. So it's amazing, but we never ever, I don't remember one time that we ever was just phoning it in. We loved every second of it, and the band, we all, I mean, it's, the energy's over the top, and you're doing what you love doing, and it's such a positive thing. It's just, you're blessed to be able to do it.
It is. And again, with yourself, your own career from the get-go, you mean from an early age, you started fiddle playing around about 8 or 9, wasn't you? And just took to the fiddle playing. I mean, although you're an accomplished musician, I've seen you with the guitar and everything. I mean, have you always wanted to be a musician, even obviously from that earlier age?
Yeah, pretty much my dad was a fiddle player and a guitar player and a singer, and my mom sang some, and my uncle was a drummer. He was like a rock drummer in the late '60s, and so I always thought that was super cool, and so I kind of got all that. I thought all that was pretty cool, and then. And I played a little bit of everything when I was a kid, but when I started playing the fiddle, that just seemed like, that was the thing. That was what I was, I gravitated to that and then just stuck with that, and then started playing, classical violin in school. So I was really a fiddle player, but anything that I could do with that instrument in my hand, I was cool to do that. And then as I got older, I wanted to do, I wanted to be in a rock band. And I was like, well, and I've told that story to Garth. I said, I always wanted to be in a rock band. I thought, well, I'm kind of limited. I'm going to have to be in Kansas or something like that to be able to be in a rock band and play a fiddle. And so, I was kind of like keeping my eyes open, like, how am I going to do this? And I said, well, I didn't really ever imagine that I would be in a country band that's playing rock level tours.
Absolutely.
I mean, in all honesty, and I pinch myself still, but it's country, but it's bigger than most rock tours. There's hardly, I don't think, honestly, that really the rock tours don't sell tickets like this tour. So I guess I'm doing it, so it's like, wow. Okay.
But it's great. I mean, from what age did you sort of, start getting into bigger bands, and sort of making that big leap into Nashville?
Well, I kind of made a little bit of a bigger move in bluegrass music right out of high school. I was working in a band from Kentucky, and Bela Fleck was the banjo player, and we went to Japan, did a Live in Japan record. We were on Rounder Records, and so I did that, and then I kind of wanted to move into the country music side of things, and so I started playing, in bars, and got lucky and got in a really good band with some phenomenal musicians. Tommy White was a steel player, which he's one of the top. Two, I think he's one of the top 2 steel players in the world. He's unbelievable, and he was in that band, so that was a good schooling on that. And then I got a break to go on the road with a group called the Forster Sisters.
Oh yeah,
4 girls from Georgia, and I was with them for quite a while. We did Wembley over there and lots of things, and then the big break that I got was Dolly Parton. Got called to be in her band in 1989, and still work with her. It has really been weird. It's like, it's such a blessing that it's worked out that I've worked with Garth. Never, thank God, I've never missed a show with him, and only have missed, one tour with Dolly in 30 years. It's like somehow or another the schedules got worked out where he was touring, she wasn't touring, she was touring, he was, it's like one was touring, the other one wasn't. And so I've worked with her since 1989 and record with her now still all the time. And that was the big, huge break. And that was just amazing. And she's amazing. And so I've done a lot of that stuff. And then just how things worked out, that I met Garth and started working with Garth. So that's kind of how that all worked out, and I think once I had worked with Dolly, I think, as far as your, people having trust that you can do their job. I think they pretty much figure if you can work with her, you can handle their job.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of that was the big door opener for me, because once I had worked with her, everybody respects her, and you know, it's like, if he can do her stuff, he can do mine. So
absolutely, it's like I say, it's such an honor, isn't it?
Yeah, and it really is. It really is. And as I get older, I feel so blessed to, and I love playing music as much more now, more than I ever have, and I just enjoy it, and like creating it, and that's why I got started, doing production and stuff. It's just, anything that has to do with creating music and doing music, that's your life. So, it's like occasionally I'll run across an artist that's trying to do something in Nashville, and I don't really seek out people to work with. But if I run into somebody that's trying to do it and I have faith in them, it's like, I'll help you, and I try to lend a hand to them and try to help them, make some good decisions. And so it's all good, man. Anything to do with music is just a great thing.
I know we was just speaking just prior to recording. We were saying that our guest last week, Audra McLaughlin, you had you've got a producing on her records, and Johnny Garcia as well. Unfortunately, Johnny couldn't. Looks like he can't make our meeting today, so we'll do that another day. But both of you produced an amazing record there, and is that something that you both enhanced your capabilities when Garth announced the retirement? All those years ago, that out the blue just said, right, I'm retiring now, and then obviously there's no band. I mean, is that something that you wanted to do anyway?
I think Johnny does a lot more of it than I do. He produces lots of artists, and he's unbelievable at it. And we work together with Garth, and we work together with Trisha Yearwood, and she's phenomenal. She's Kelly Clarkson and Trisha Yearwood, and those two, I have worked with them, so I can speak from experience on that. They both have this thing in their vocal that it's like you think they're running on high gear, and they can kick it up another notch to a level that it blows your mind when they go there. It's like, just when you thought it was great, there's a level above great. And so, me and Johnny have both worked with, he's worked with Trish Yearwood. He was in her original band. He's been her band leader since day one. So he's been with her, and we've worked together with Garth, and we really mesh. Our minds are a lot the same and whatever. So over those times of working together and writing some and this and that and the other, and working on some projects, we worked with the guy Jamie Meyer from Sweden, and he's an amazing artist. Also, he's unbelievable. You should check him out, because this guy. He's one of the other guys that I'm like, I don't know how anybody missed this guy in Nashville, because I played some shows with Keith Urban, and the first time I got on a stage with Jamie, it was like, this is the same thing that Keith Urban has. I mean, it's the same vibe, and it's phenomenal. The energy and the comfort factor. He's so comfortable doing it. But anyway, we worked on a project with him, and so I knew me and Johnny worked great together like that. And then I have been doing some things for a lady named Katie Hendricks that works with Audra on vocal stuff, just keeping her vocals in shape, because she sings so hard and all over the map. It's good for her to be doing that correctly, or she'd blow her voice out.
Yeah.
And I thought she was phenomenal. So, I told her, I'll help you, if you need some help. So it's all morphed into that. And me and Johnny have been working with her, and she's just an unbelievable singer. I mean, because when you get somebody in the studio, you quickly know what they. I mean, yeah, you can make anybody sound great. I mean, nowadays you can make anybody sound great,
Yeah.
but you don't have to do anything with her. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And her range is sick. It's like she'll hit stuff, like Mariah Carey or whatever, and nail it the first time and nail it every time. But she's just phenomenal. I'm excited to see what goes on with her career, because she's like, I said, she's like Secretariat of the Racehorses. She's got more in there than almost anybody, other than somebody like Trisha Yearwood or Kelly Clarkson. It's that kind of thing where she's got so much there, and so that's been awesome. We wrote last year when we were all quarantined. Johnny and myself, we Zoomed and Skyped with Audra, and we wrote a ton of songs, and they seem to be all great. And so she's constantly writing, and we're trying to get some music done for her, and try to get something going on, because and I'm glad she's doing stuff overseas, because they would love her anywhere, because she's the real deal. She's for real.
Well, I know you know manager Donna Zanetti, and been Facebook friends for quite a while. And I interviewed a UK artist, Emma Jade, a couple of weeks ago, and it was from that we started talking. I said, "Oh, you're a Facebook friend," and we actually met on Sunday. There was a UK country music festival over here called Buckle and Boots near Manchester in the northwest.
Yeah.
I live 15 miles away from Liverpool. So I'm sort of like not far from Manchester. So we met, and then she's got like Audra. You've got to get into Audra, and it was really, really good. And you gone? There you go. And we had such a good time with Audra. I'm looking at the time on the clock on the record, and I'm going, "Oh, this is going on too long." But we had such a scream. And then I put the radio out on Tuesday on Cat Country. And then a mum messaged me on Facebook, because Audra had promoted it. And mum, bless her, she said, "I've missed it. Can I watch it again?" I said, "Well, actually, yesterday," I said, "I've put it on the YouTube channel." So she messaged me last night, said, "Oh, I love the interview. Thank you." She said, "You are so funny, Paul," because we had a laugh. I mean, I told her some tricks to do. She's doing her own sound. I said, "Always do your own tricks, and if people come complaining about the sound, he's out to sort that out." And we just had a bit of a laugh, but she's got such a wicked laugh as well, which is cool.
Oh yeah, they're great. They're great people. And it's they're really good people, and they're so supportive, and as a producer or even a band member or whatever, when you work with somebody like that, you realize the whole family's invested in their music, all the miles they've driven their kids, and the money they've spent, and all that. It's a big commitment, to try to have a music career, and it's
you've got to have good people around you as well. I mean, like I say, yourself and Donna, that kind of.
Yeah.
I know Donna wants to build the PR side of it as well. She's got so many good. I mean, I couldn't believe on Sunday. I was only there Sunday because this time last week my daughter got married, so I couldn't go there for the full weekend. And my daughter's a massive Garth Brooks fan, because she's 31 and she's been brought up on Garth. My youngest, awesome. Before I forget, my youngest is 26, and when she was a little girl, she's in the back seat, and I put a CD on, Fresh Horses. Fever come on.
Oh,
My little girl, she's only, God, well, how old would she be? About then 6 or whatever, scrunching her eyes up, going, "Fever!"
Yeah, that's the song, man. That pretty much got me there, because
I know
I'd gotten a call to come in and play on that. The guy that usually plays on the records, Rob Hajakus, he's an unbelievable player, and had played on every record there. And Garth was like, "Yeah, yeah, so he's just don't feel this one or whatever. And would you come in and do it? And I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, man. But he's like, would you want to? And it's like, oh yeah, I think so. And so when it came in and played on it, it just seemed to work good, and everything went good. And it's just one of them blessing things coming at you. You know, it's like this feels like something just went on, and it sure did, because then he offered me the job to come out, and so I'm still here. And so, man, I'm thankful for those kind of things like that give you those opportunities, because it's like I tell, my kids, it's like you get opportunities, and the door gets cracked, and it's up to you to bust it open and make it work.
Absolutely.
And, where's the chance?
Yeah, I think I'm more of a cover artist these days, but I have thrown in a couple off the Fun album. What's that? That's What Cowboys Do. Love that. Oh, yeah. Love that. That's got a George Strait flavor to it. I just want to dance with you kind of vibe going on, and people love it over here. So I thought I'll throw that into my show, and
that's really good. I love that song. When I was playing it down in the studio, sometimes you're playing something down and you're like, I really got to think about this, because this is outside the box a little bit, and especially as a fiddle player, it's like, yeah, it's a fiddle. Some things just seem natural for the instrument, and then other things like Fever is not natural for fiddle. You just got to come up with something. And luckily I was nervous enough on that session that I was coming up with everything I could pull out of the toolbox. Which worked for that song. But when we were doing That's What Cowboys Do, it was like, oh my God, this is it. This is perfect for the fiddle. And this is one I can play some fiddle on. And it was like, oh my God. So I love that song and love playing. It's probably my favorite song. It's definitely my favorite natural song to play with Garth in the studio that I've ever played with him. It's just it just feels right for me personally.
It's very 90s though, isn't it? It is steeped in a 90s kind of tradition, 90s country.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's just me personally. I think we forgot, Nashville forgot a little bit that in the 90s, country music ruled over every music genre. Garth was the artist of the decade in the 90s, and that's out of all artists. That's not just country artists. That's every genre there was. And so it's like, I think they forgot that we can stick to what we do and we can still be huge. And they started thinking that we want to be a pop music and a rock music, and a little bit of that's good to throw in there. But if you try to
need a bit of mellow, don't you? You need a light and shade.
You're not going to win a third game. That's what they do. That's what they do best. So I think that, I personally love the 90s country. I think, it's got a little rock edge to it. It's got a little pop here and there, but it's country, overall. So I think that's, that's what I love about that song. It's just, it's the real deal. It's real country.
But it's quite prominent here, and it still is. I mean, my friend, like my colleagues and I, we do proper 90s nights sometimes, and and there's still a clamor for that, and back in the day in the 90s, CMTV come over here for the first time.
Oh yeah,
and everybody then went. I remember my parents going over for vacation in the middle of the 90s, and I said, "Here's a blank check. Get me every CD that is of everybody." Because you couldn't get them over here then, even by mail order. But the CMTV actually finished in Europe. Quite a while ago. And I knew I had a bet to myself of the last song at midnight, what it was going to be. And do you know what it was? Have a guess.
Well, the dance.
Yes.
Was it?
It was the dance. Yep.
Yeah.
I knew, I had a feeling in my bones, and I stayed up till midnight because after that there was no country music in the UK for quite a while, on the TV for quite a while. It was the dance. It was like, what?
That song, that song still gets me, and it's like, I've played it a million times.
That's in my show. That's in my show, every show. Just me and the acoustic, just giving it, and people just love it, absolutely love it. Over the last year, I've been very, very fortunate to become good friends, and obviously he's been friend of the show, Kent Blasey. If tomorrow never comes, ain't going down, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Steve Warner, I know that yourself have linked in quite a bit with Steve, and he shared some Garth stories, and Kent has. Have you got a story of Garth that you can actually share with us?
Who, me?
A clean one, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, one of my favorite funny stories is, and this just shows you what kind of guy he is. When we played Croke Park, and we did 3 days in a row, it was, busy and crazy shows and huge stage and just unbelievable. When we got done with the third show, we had to go all the way to LA to do, I think, like a Jay Leno show or something. It was a TV show. So we were going all the way from Croke Park, from Dublin to LA. And so he decided it would be cost effective and time effective if we just had a charter plane, like 727 charter plane, big plane. So crew, band, everybody's on this plane, and we get on the plane and we're wiped out. And I get on there and I'm looking for the first seat to sit in, and I see this seat there that's got a pillow and a blanket and a bunch of stuff. And I thought, oh man, this is first class. This is great. So I just grab it, lay down. I'm sleeping in 5 minutes. And I wake up sometime a couple hours later, and the plane's dark. Everybody's sleeping. And I look in the floor, and there's Garth. He's laying in the floor. And I'm like, wow, what's he doing laying in the floor? And then I look over, and there's Trish Yearwood, and she's laying in the seat. And she's got a pillow, and she's got a blanket. And then I look over at somebody else, and they're laying in a seat, and they got a backpack for a pillow, and they don't have a blanket. And I'm looking around, and nobody else has got a pillow and a blanket. And I realized I took his seat. And I was like, oh man, I took his pillow and his blanket and his seat. He's white, he's wore out, he's tired. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. What a stupid thing that was. So I he's laying on the floor. He's got his backpack. He's laying with his head on his backpack. And I just kind of shook him. I said, hey man, I got your seat. I didn't realize I got your seat. Get up here in your seat. And, I'm good. And he's like, no, man, no, you lay there. And he refused to take that seat.
Yeah.
He refused to, his pillow and his blanket, my seat. He would not let me give it to him. And, but I was like, oh no, I couldn't believe I had taken it. But that's just the kind of guy. He wasn't going to wake me up and say, hey, dude, you got my seat. It's like he laid on the floor with his backpack. That's
class. That is absolute class. I mean, some others would just get a bucket of water and throw it over you.
yeah, but he's just a guy. He won't ask you to do anything that he won't do.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard obviously, if you're a friend for life with him, you always see the razzmatazz and whatever. He has lost a bit of weight, I've noticed, when you were doing the Salt Lake City dive bar on YouTube. I thought, oh, he's lost a little bit of weight there.
Oh yeah, he can do that. He'll just his willpower is unmatched, and he'll just go, okay, it's time, boom, stop eating.
Wow. Mind you, if you've got a cook like Trisha Yearwood, you're bound to put on a bit of timber around the waist, aren't you? But I've always wanted to ask you if you ever got a chance to speak to you. Right, you're on stage, everything's going well. You look over at Garth, and the wild eyes come out, and you think, "Oh my God, what's going to happen?" You know what? You must come across that a lot. You're thinking, what is he doing? Where's he going with this?
Well, it's up there. My take on it is up there with him. I'm always watching him, and I'm trying to gauge where he's where he's wanting to go and where he's wanting to be and stay out of his way so he can do his thing. It's like you have peripheral vision. You got to have eyes in the back of your head so you kind of can sense that they're there. What you just got to be heads up. It's like playing. I said it's just like playing sports. It's like a football game, and he's calling audibles at the line. You watch for that, and but just over the years of working with him, it helps because you gauge where he's going. He doesn't stay on script all the time, and but yeah, he's amazing, and it's like going to school. It really is. It's like for me, as I'm getting older, I want to help other artists because I've been to school. I've been to school with all these people. I've been to school with him, and I've been to school with Dolly, and they're not really anything alike, but there's things that they have that are like embedded in you, like Dolly's thing is she wants you to watch her, the whole time on stage. Watch her the whole time. And it makes sense because it's like to her, she's like, if you're not interested in what I'm talking about, that makes the people wonder why you're not interested. Should they be interested if you're not interested? And it's like that makes total sense. It's like, yeah. If I don't look like I'm enjoying what she's saying, why should they enjoy it? And a lot of that stuff. So it's like going to school. It really is. It's the school of, so hopefully, you can kind of tell artists that, and, like talking about me and Johnny working with Audra and stuff like that. We share stuff like that with her. Like, I wouldn't do that if I was you. I wouldn't say that if I was you. I wouldn't do this because this, and you kind of, young artists, young musicians, young people, they just don't, you can look back on yourself and you realize that you had to figure things out as you went. So
it's good.
You just do your thing, man, and you enjoy it and love it. And
you're only here once, aren't you? You might as well put as much as you can into it and live it as what the best you can.
Yeah, because you got to be thankful to be there because there's other people that can be there. They can do your job, and you just do what you do and enjoy it, and it's amazing.
But you've got a really tight schedule now. Like you say, Kansas, and then you're at Lincoln, 14th. And then you've got a whole heap of dates in September. Do you think you'll ever come to the UK or Ireland again?
I don't know. I know that he'd love to get back there. I don't know. I don't know.
It'd be lovely to see you all. Like I said, hopefully, if you don't come here, then I'll have my belated 60th birthday and we'll get to a stadium over there and, get to see it live again after all these years. I'd love to do that. Like I said, my idea was in April to, obviously to come to Nashville for the first time. But the amount of artists I've spoken to, and they're all saying, when you come over, you must look us up and we'll go and hang like Steve Wariner and people like that. I'm going to need a month. It's like, Steve's a great guy as well. Top guy.
Yes. He's amazing. He's a great friend. I always tell him, I'm like, well, there's two of you. There's my friend, and then there's the artist, because he's just, an amazing artist. My God, the guy is such a great player and singer and writer, and so it's kind of like I separate it. When I'm working with him, it's like he's the artist. So man, whatever he needs, whatever he wants, I'm like I'm the employee, and he's the artist, but he's a good dude. But I don't take advantage of the fact that he's my friend.
Yeah.
When I'm working with him. But then when he's my friend, we're just talking about whatever, kids and what. So
just hanging.
He's just a really good guy, man, and he's just a phenomenal musician and that singer and writer. He's a triple threat, man. He does all that so well.
It was amazing. I mean, he did tell us a story about Garth and Tricia that he said nobody knows about this, or not many people. I said, you know, it's on the radio, and he told me, and he was such a lovely guy. And we've got a mutual friend actually with Steve and I, Randy Gardner. I don't know if you know Randy. Yeah. Well, Randy came over with a great singer called Nancy Hayes from Chicago, and did a tour, and I did some dates with him doing the sound and support, and we, you know, and he said to me, can I, you know, at the console there, and he said, can I do some of this sound for Nancy? And I went, you know, it's my gear kind of thing. He said, yeah, I'm the engineer with Steve Warner for so many years. I went, there you go, guy. There you go. It's all yours.
Yeah, he's great and he's awesome. He
such
does the record
lovely guy. You know, we keep in touch and stuff. And he got me the sort of chat with Steve. But before we finish, I ask this question to pretty much everybody I speak to over the pond, and it's a Mount Rushmore question. And it's like obviously the four heads chiseled in stone, and you could replace them with people that's inspired you through your career. Who would those four people be?
Oh man, well, I'd have to put Garth and Dolly on there.
I was going to say, if you don't put them, you're not working tomorrow, man.
gotta put them on there because, you know, they've just been so instrumental to my life, you know. Probably them, and you know, I don't know. As far as like people,
it could be family, it could be friends, it could be anything.
Well, I would have to put Garth and Dolly, not necessarily in this order. I'd put Jesus on there.
Cool.
Because I've been so blessed in my life, and I know that I didn't make all that happen. There's no way.
Yeah.
I'm not that good and I'm not that smart, so it had to be divine intervention that got me all my opportunities. It's like he said, "Here you go. Now make it work and don't mess it up." So
that's good.
And I don't know. You know, I don't know about the fourth one. I would have to. I don't know. I guess I would. Boy, that's a tough one because there's too many. Then it gets into like, you know, I don't know.
I'll mention them without upsetting them. I'll tell you what, you can
probably put three on there unless I start getting into like family, and that doesn't really count for that.
No, you can count. The last one, we can just put a conglomerate of family that's inspired you then, and we'll just put that as a header. You know, one artist actually said,
you got to have your family support. You got to have all that support from your family, you know, your parents when you're young, and your spouse when you get older, and it's you got to have that core around you, you know, that keeps everything tight for you, whoever that is. It could be family, it can be you don't have a lot of family, it can be your close friends, but it's all your people that keep you in line and keep everything going. So
no, that's good, because one artist said to me, "Oh, four's not enough." I said, "You've got the chisel, you crack on." And he did, and he said, "I've got another 7." You know, but one artist, when I very first started to ask this question, just said, "Oh yeah, my wife, my mum and dad, my daughter," and I went, "Oh, that's not a conversation then, right? Okay." So then I go, who inspired you musically as well as being in your family? So, but it's you can have that. You can actually go to Garth one day when you're just chilling out and say, "Garth, got a Mount Rushmore question for you." Oh, because I asked Ali about.
Yeah, there's probably, he would probably say George Strait, Merle Haggard, George Jones, and Jesus. Probably
he probably would as well.
I would be curious, but that would be my bet. I'd put money on it. I'd probably get
I've got an idea. You and the guys all talk about and just put a little bet on. Say, right, if we're going to ask him for 4, who will that 4 be, and see who gets it right? There you go. That's a little quiz for you. But I reckon he'll throw in James Taylor in there.
He might do that. Yeah. See, he'd be like, well, I don't know. Get tough after you get down there, you know. because it's a lot of people that, you know, that are all mix of all that. It's so many people are involved in your molding of what you've become. You know, it's
and it gets people thinking that question, because I mean, there's been a few artists that I've interviewed and they're struggling, and I'll just throw in the question, and then I get an idea about the past, because obviously if I didn't know you and then you've gone Dolly, Garth, Jesus, okay, so a religious guy, you know, so you've got that kind of that flavor then of the person then. So, but I thank you so much for coming on, and I wish you all the very best in your career, and give my regards to the guys and Garth tomorrow. Just say from the UK, say hi, and we'll hopefully get to see you one day. And
that'd be awesome. Yeah. Look me up if you get over this way. And and Johnny was mowing his grass, so he'll probably he'll hook up with you.
No, that's cool. Just say that I really feel important now. He was mowing his grass rather than speak to me.
He said, "Man, I am so sorry, dude. I was mowing my grass, and you know, he's such a busy guy, but." Yeah,
tell you, the life of a star, you know, he should have people doing that for him, you know.
But that's not him. Yeah, that's why we're a lot alike, because he was a farmer when he was a kid, and I was a farmer when I was a kid. So that's why we both love to play music, because we don't want to farm.
I like that. But Jimmy, it's been an absolute honor to speak to you, my friend, and you've made me very, very happy today. It's been awesome, and thank you for sharing stories, and good luck for everything going your way, and like I said, with Audra as well, and other artists that you're helping, and hopefully we can promote here as well once we get a flavour. But you stay safe, stay well, everybody, and safe travels for the tour.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, great talking to you, and hope to see you.
Hope to see you again. Adios. Adios, amigo.